Right, here is the grid for A versus C, senior road tax. Devian Ross and Mateo Radenkovic line up on the front row. Mitch Haynett and Benjamin Van Hees ran out row 2. Mitch Haynett doing a great job at Circuit Park Bedham to win the final on the road ahead of teammate Felipe Falk, meaning a TV Kart Netherlands 1-2 at that particular point. Jori Schoens and Sim van Vliet ran out row 3. Sebastian Koch and Sam Bergstein ran out row 4. Robbie Storder and Jay Zerveld round out row 5. Neil Hendricks, Ruben Verheyen, Ollie Jonkers, Julian Klosman, Luca Thiel, Jim Back, Thijs van Wijk, Dante Simmer, Dylan Hummel, Noah Janssen, Kevin Navis, Kirill Genza, Jur Valkenaars, Mick van den Hout, Steen Peters, Sven Slagmoller, Ruben Lichtenstein, Gabriel Svitala, Mike van Maastricht, Chris Cromo Pawiro, Dylan Hetler, Raymer van Beek, Ralph van der Pavet and Philip Vezhnevsky round out the 34 strong. Now, if the first race was anything to go by, expect the unexpected in race number 2. Point might be proven very shortly. And all, the laughter aside, senior road tax, one of the most cutthroat competitive classes within the road tax racing family. "16 front fairing penalties in the first heat of the weekend." That's a lot when you think about it. That's 80 seconds worth of penalties, I'm sure. Yeah, I was. 80 seconds. That's equivalent to a lap and a half. That's equivalent to just over a lap and a half in a senior road tax. But we're about to get underway. Revs rise. Lights are on. Lights are not out. Full start. Running theme of the day. How many times are we going to get a full start? Are we going to get a? Are we going to get a clean start first time round? At this juncture, I don't honestly know. However, anyone might remember a particular chrono karting race weekend last year. I can't remember which one it was, but I do remember that the only class that went first time of asking was, or it was another championship. There was one race weekend that I commentated on. And DD2 and DD2 Masters were the only class, I repeat, the only class that ended up going clean start every single time. So, revs up, lights on. Are we getting underway? No, it's the second full start. Timer starts now for the first time this year. Oh, ho, 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 ho. I was waiting, and it's a red flag stoppage, which means our race director will be heading to the drivers. Oh dear, school's in session. Right. Now, normally it is a communication with the front row of the grid. So, our Our race director Michael van der Riet is going to be heading to the drivers who are being stopped just before turn 10. And, well, his rule is law when it comes to chrono karting. So the drivers being kept in a row. So discussion has been had. So we are now 2 minutes into this race. This is where it gets exciting, because if we have a third false start, we go and we do it again. So please make sure you have got your popcorn on standby, your chilled beverage of choice. Right. Devian Rust was the driver that had the conversation with race director Michael van der Riet. So it is Rust versus Radenkovic, double R on the front row, as we try for the third time of asking here for Senior Rotax. Heat 2, A versus C. Revs up, lights on, this time we're underway. Good start by Rust. Once again, Radenkovic this time tries to keep it pinned to the outside of Mitch Haynert. And Haynert might try and go for a lunge. He goes around the outside of Radenkovic through turn 3, just kept the throttle fully lit. So the drivers, oh, what a big melee going into turn 6. 308 is out. And there's another one, 308, Kirill Genzer for the Flamix Racing team. New German squad set up earlier on this year, also competing in, I think, B&L Karting Series and also Rotax Max Challenge Germany this year. So that might have been coming together possibly with Stein Peters. But change for second position, as Mitch Haynert has had, has been overtaken by Mateo Radenkovic. So second lap completed. Devian Rust leads the way by 3/10, ahead of Mateo Radenkovic, Mitch Haynert, Benjamin Van Hees, Jori Schoens, Sim Van Vliet, Sebastian Koch rounds out the top 7, Sam Bergstein 8th, Robbie Studder 9th, Miel Hendricks rounds out the top 10. It was Stein Peters, I thought it might have been the case, and well, Kirill Genzer's body language is all but a telling point of how frustration seeps in under the red mist. But behind, look at the squabble at the back end of the top 7. I think that was Van Vliet versus Koch as they come out of turn number 11. And Radenkovic and Haynert are chasing down Rust at the front end of the field. And, well, they've got one behind them. Oh, dear, right. 3:26. Miel Hendricks running on the appropriately coloured Carlos Sainz 55 chassis, the CS55. Another brand endorsed by a Formula One driver on the current grid. And speaking of Senior Rotax, congratulations to Flint and Morris Schuring yesterday. Flint winning a race at the 6 Hours of Spa race weekend. It also had Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux on the support series. So well done to him with Schumacher CLRT. And also Brother Morris running in NLS3 yesterday. Both running in Porsche these days. And now there's a way forward. Right, come on, Sebastian. And that is Juri Schoens. Side by side, just behind Robbie Stauder, dives up the inside of Sian Van Vliet, with Neil Hendricks slotting in behind. Ollie Yonkers, the young man from Dams Racing, has made his way up the order to the 336, now up 4 spots from 13th on the grid. There he is in the back of the shots, going down into turn number 7, but Devian Ross starting to bolt away from Mateo Dankovic. Mitch Haynett has had so many has had his fair share of bad luck last season. And then when both he and Felipe Falk dominated proceedings pretty much after a close fight in the final at Circuit Park Berghem, it was so great to have a chat with him post-race and post-podium. He said, just finally we got it together. Finally the luck was on our side. So across the line they go to complete lap number 5. Devian Rost, fastest of all, no surprise, he's got clear air in front of him as the 3:45. 55.154 is his fastest lap so far. So there is going to be a little bit of a clear-up operation for our team here at Chrono Karting to get those karts that are out of the way. 2 off of turn 6, Sustained Peters and Kirill Genzer, I'm afraid. 3 minutes to go plus 2 additional laps remain. So we still have DD2 and DD2 Masters, KZ2 Masters, KZ2, and the final initial heat before we go into the second chance phase. So the points will be tallied. Ollie Yonkers now up 5 spots into P8. So 32 out of 34 runners and riders still circulating. Ralph van der Pevert is on the move and charging forward. He's closely following Mike van Maastricht, so the 368 and the 309 are currently 21st and 20th respectively. Philip Wisniewski started last, now 24th. Dante Simmer and Noah Janssen ran at the top 16. Thijs van Wijk, the brother of Jort, who was in the earlier heat, now up 5 spots from 17th to 12th. Fastest lap now set by Robbie Stauder. The 317 is one of a handful of drivers, including the race leader Devian Ross, that has gone under 55 seconds in full race trim. 54.883 by Robbie Stauder. Right, 308 has just been given was being given more than a slap on the wrist. That is more than it's insult to injury, but very, very unsportsmanlike driving is the comment in the announcement. 10-second penalty. That's like being given a slap on the wrist by the teacher and told that you're going to detention later on. 10 seconds for Kirill Genzer after that accident with Stain Peters on lap number 2. But Devian Ross continues to lead the way. Mateo Radankovic last time around took the fastest lap of the race and now has done it again. Now Robbie Stauder throwing his 2 cents in. He's just put in a 54.597. There's Sam Bergstein versus Miel Hendricks. They've got Luca Thiel. Welcome back, my good friend, with the FM Racing crew. Team run by the Fleischmann family with Christian and Maxi. Maxi, a former DD2 driver, now very much following in the footsteps of his dad Christian in operating the team. So Ralph van der Pavert, oh my goodness me, with literally as the timer hits 0, Ralph van der Pavert is up 14 places, 33rd. Now into the top 20, runs 19th. 2 laps to go. And Devian Ross has a lead of just under 0.6 of a second ahead of Mateo Radankovic. Mitch Haynett, P3. Sebastian Koch, P4. Robbie Stauder, P5. Jori Schoens, Ollie Yonkers, Sam Bergstein, Miel Hendricks, Luca Thiel, Sian Van Vliet, Thijs van Wijk, Benjamin Van Hees, Ruben Verheyen and Dante Simmer ran at the top 15 places or positions so far. So next time around, we'll start our last lap in this race before we head on to DD2 and DD2 Masters. So last lap underway. Devian Ross leads by 0.558 seconds. Mateo Dankovic fastest lap of the race now on lap 10. 54.526. So 2 laps curtailed as a result of that full start. Ralph van der Pavert now up into 18th, and he's half a second behind Noah Janssen, but Devian Rost is being reeled in ever so slightly, corner by corner, by Mateo Radenkovic. As we hit basically 0 on the timer, plus the additional lap and a half that we've just completed. 2 additional laps at the end of every chrono karting race, so it gives a window of opportunity for other drivers a little bit further back to make their way through the field. But it is going to be Devian Ross that is going to pick up the win here. Flying Dutchman at the front end of the field, the 3:45, wins Heat 2 in Seniors A versus C by just over 4.5 tenths ahead of Mateo Dankovic, who takes the fastest lap of the race of 54.483. Mitch Haynert, P3, Sebastian Koch and Robbie Sordo round out the top 5. Joris Schoens, Ollie Jonkers, Sam Bergstein, Neil Hendricks and Luca Thiel round out your top 10. Thijs van Wijk, Siem van Vliet, Benjamin Van Hees, Ruben Verheyen, Dante Sima, Jim Back, Noah Janssen and Ralph van der Pavert round out the top 18, ahead of Jay Zurveld and Dylan Hummel, who ran out the top 20. Julian Kloosman ahead of Jure Valkenaars, Mike van Maastricht, Ruben Lichtenstein, Gabriel Svitala, Mick Vandenhout, Dylan Hedler, Philip Wisniewski, Sven Slagmoller, Chris Gromopawiro, Reimer van Beek and Kevin Navis running at the 32 finishers. Lap 2, turn 6. Well, it was game over for Kiddo Genza and Stain Peters after that one. Next up, DD2 and DD2 Masters. It's the pre-final.